Welcome back everyone to It's Not Easy Being Green screen. It was a very orange screen there with the title screen for this version of Dragonninja, or Bad Dudes vs Dragonninja, as the original pointed out by Data East. This is the Amstrad CPC port, of course, the 128K version, and with a bit of sampled speech in it, which is rather nice. Bit lifted from the arcade, I believe, as well. Very snazzy. So yes, plenty of lovely bright colours and little graphical effects there going on some of the text. Excellent stuff. This is a very colourful game as well. Pretty blocky looking, but it's a decent effort at port to a bit of an arcade classic, really. We never understand why the title screen, the loading screen, is a steal from Bruce Lee's End of the Dragon. Pretty weird. And of course the full title of this game is Bad Dudes vs Dragonninja, not just Dragonninja. But hey, let's not beat around titles and what title screen belongs where, shall we? Let's have a look at the game. As you can see, it's a scrolling beat 'em up. I've always noticed that scrolling on this is actually very smooth. People kind of miss that. I think it's actually a very nice smooth scroll. Yeah, I think the only issue review-wise with this game, we're not going to obviously review it. We're just going to quickly have a look at the graphical changes and the way it can be played in green, of course, like we always do on this show. But you know, the fight mechanics are a little bit messy here and there. And again, all the enemy sprites can sort of gang up on you a bit too quickly, and a little bit of collision detection issues going on. That aside, it's a fine version of the game, an okay version. So, anyway, as you can see, lots of colour. But two bold, solid colours in this. A little bit of texture in here and there with the brickwork in the background. But very bold, solid colours, solid shading. Sprite's pretty nice, actually. This big fire-breathing fat dude, he's quite nicely defined, actually. Main sprite here, one of the bad dudes himself, he's okay. His punch is pretty bad. I mean, the punch action is pretty rubbish, actually, but the kicks are very good. And, of course, graphically, we're talking, you know, things stand out really nice. You can see everything nice and clearly. There's no sprite clash anywhere going on. It's all very beautiful to look at. Like I say, a bit on the blocky side of things. Maybe the sprites are. And the backgrounds could be, you know, they could be improved. There could be a little bit more detail on. Anyway, on to the second level. And this is where we're going to pause the game and switch to green. Obviously, levels will differ in the way they look in the green. But hey, let's look at the truck in green. It's gone very bright. Well, not a very bright green. A bright-ish green. More so, I'm looking at here are the enemy sprites. Main sprite, main bad dude himself, he's okay. He's still quite well defined. Can see him really clearly against that sort of like murky green background of the sky. I'm assuming when we drop down, it'll be okay. The enemy sprites, though, I've noticed they're very quite dark now. They've lost a little bit of their definition. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, even against the old brightness of the truck, he's quite well defined. You can still see things very clearly. You can still see that actually really lovely little parallax scrolling effect as well. I've just noticed that. Of course, that is always on the version, the colour version, but it actually looks quite nice in green, that little parallax scrolling effect of the road going by with the truck. And I've just killed myself because I'm chatting all that way and I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. Let's continue the level, shall we? And show that again in green and go back to it in green. There we go. HUD is, again, still quite clear. Some of the shading effects on the words of the HUD seem to have got a bit lost, so it's a little bit tricky to read, but still quite fine. It doesn't strain your eyes, this. This is not straining my eyes at all. This is quite comfortable to play in green. Like I say, like all these kind of games which have glorious colour in the game, it kind of loses its little bit of prowess there. But I tell you what, it still plays perfectly fine. You can see everything clear as crystal still. Let's say the enemy sprites, they're a little bit, they've come a little bit non-generic there. They sort of like their face masks are blurred into their tunics and kind of stuff, and they are now and then kind of clashing with the background. I noticed the enemy ninja girl there. She's a little bit, she didn't look very great when going past the truck itself, but hey, there you go. I would imagine that this game all the way through is rather good to play in green and perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable. And if you had a green screen monitor back in the day and had Dragonninja, apart from not having an orange loading screen, you had a green one instead, which we'll see at the end of this video, then it's fine. This is fine. I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm getting really into it in green now. I could play the whole thing in green, to be honest. It's not too bad at all. I think they've done it. This is a good balance. The green screen has actually balanced this very, very well. Actually, I think they've done a good job. It's done It's done a good job at making sure that there's not a lot of clash going on. Everything is still very clearly defined. Even when there's a lot of clutter there with lots of sprites all gathered up together, everything was still so quite crisp, which is really nice to see. Stab, stabby, stabby to all of you. There you go. Hey, oh, drop down there. There we go. Let's go. Good. Thank you for watching this episode of It's Not Easy Being Green Screen. And, well, Dragonninja, it turns out, is easy in green screen. It's not bad at all. And let's have a look at the title screen, shall we? It's in green, of course. Hey, Novabug here. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my bug army via Patreon. And also don't forget to follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, BitChute and Twitch. And finally, a very special mention to my bug army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanook and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug out.